They tried to get Uncle Mo out of there. They said that he was the greatest. I watched your documentary. You said you destroyed football. That's what you said. You said that it was you. You destroyed football. That you're the greatest manager of all time. Of course you couldn't win it without Messi. How much did you spend, my dear friend? Pep, I'm a nice guy. I'm a nice guy. But I'm going to have to get out of here. People have told me that. I'm going to have to get you out of here. This is going to be a surgical, methodical takedown. And you're to blame. You shouldn't have released that documentary. But when you did, you shouldn't have said you destroyed football. That was your mistake, bruh. Because I didn't want to do this. If you hadn't said those things, I'd have gone easy on you. Because I said, I'm a nice guy. But if you push me, I'll get mean. So Pep, we're going to go surgical, man. I'm leaving you second to last. Because I've got a whole criteria, as you can see over here. So it's going to be long, man. I need you to get your meals ready because this is the intro. This ain't even the main event. This is the intro. This is the precursor to what's happening. So let me just set the stage. So this is just gives you time to get your meals ready, get yourselves ready and everything, and then we shall roll in through and come inside. So for this being the intro, to set the stage, we're going to just talk about the match, tactics, things that have gone down, and so forth. And then once that happens, we will now go into the greater aspects of things that have happened. And Pep, you have a section all on your own because we're going to spend a long time. You see, Pep, when you put your neck out there and you say certain things, your boy Double H, aka HH, aka the Kid, aka the Blue Picking, aka the Golden Picking, aka the One, Neo, Morpheus. When you say certain things, man, and you don't deliver, especially when you're at home, I kind of have to take that personally. So, guys, this gives you time. So this is the intro. The prologue, rather. So after the prologue, we will now go into the main event. And then after the main event, we will then go to the epilogue, which of course is where you, my friend Pep, you come in. So guys, settle down, have a meal, grab a drink, and I think this will be fun. I think this will be fun. I'm trying to make this post-match analysis something different. This is more of a movie. I call this my masterpiece. I call this my masterpiece because, hey, Pep, you released that documentary. You said all those things in that documentary, Pep. So I was like, okay, cool. That's on you, hombre. So since you released that, I feel that it is only fair that I do something slightly similar. So buckle up, enjoy yourselves, get your meals ready, get your drinks ready, turn your cell phones off. Say goodnight to that person on a WhatsApp. turn down your Twitter, your Facebook, because I need your undivided attention. Because, guys, there is a lot of stuff to be said here. I have written a criteria here, and I need your undivided attention. So without further ado, let's get into it. Greetings, gentlemen. Welcome to the main event. For our main event, we will be discussing Tottenham against Man City. But before we go in, as is done with these post-match analysis, I must introduce my meal. We've got Cool Original Doritos. Doritos dip, olives, got a bit of garlic in there, hummus, mixed with a bit of olive oil, and of course, my good friends, super malt. So without further ado, I think we can perhaps go in right there. So let me just really set the stage for this match. Going into it, I have to be fully fair here. I did not believe that Tottenham were able to beat Man City. Now, let me give you my thinking for it. Past records that Tottenham have had against Man City. The fact that Man City, so basically the very fact that Man City were able to beat Tottenham on so many occasions, and the record against them was basically crazy years. The last time Tottenham beat City, I think it was a White Hart Lane 3 years ago. So those were my thinking coming in. Of the Hurricane not being there was never a factor. It was never a factor. I've always said, and the Tottenham fans would tell you that as good as Hurricane is, Tottenham play better without Hurricane. So that was the main thing that was there. So this was really, so coming into it, I think the first thing, I think this is almost a separate topic within itself. And I won't come to it yet, but I'm going to come to it maybe afterwards. So I think really coming into it, City knew what they had to do. And I felt that City felt confident because they were like, Etihad, it's our ground. We know how we roll. We're good. We know what needs to happen in this game. And this was almost a case of Son versus Sterling. The two superstars of each team. Trust me, I'll get to Son. So this was about Son versus Sterling, two superstars of each team. What did they do? How did they roll down? So I think Tottenham, the key thing was Tottenham scoring after Harry Kane got injured in the first leg. I felt psychologically that was huge for Tottenham. Because by them doing that, because for me, I felt that because I will get to some, but I'll just a little precaution. That moment of the sun rises in the east, scoring after Kane had been injured, surely that was a moment. That was like a Passover of, guys, I'm the superstar. He's gone down. I've risen up. So that should have been a moment for Tottenham. I think for Tottenham, that gave them the belief that, wait a minute, no. Kane is very important to us because he's our goal scorer. We don't need him. He's not needed. He is a very important member of our team. He is not essential for our team. He's not essential. We can win without him. So that was what was there. So for Man City, I think the most shocking thing before I started the live stream was Leroy Sané. I'm sorry, I need answers. I need answers of why this guy hardly plays. Someone tell me what's the issue? Because Now, granted, I do believe that for Pep, tactically speaking, he trusts Silva and Sterling. Now, I believe that it's a case of it's between Silva and Sane. Sterling is a guaranteed starter. Sterling can never be dropped. He just can never be dropped. He must always be a constant bona fide starter. But I think when it comes to it, in a game of this magnitude, someone that talented, and I think the key thing is this, in a game in which it's about getting goals and being fully attacking, I would have rolled with Leroy Sané. But the thing is, fair enough. I'll give Pep the player, like, okay, from a tactical basis, maybe he trusts Silva more. But I believe Sané was brought on in like the 81st minute. I think he was brought on in the 81st minute, and I think he got brought on after the Llorente goal. So I don't know is it a case of, is there something internal happening, or is it a case of he just doesn't trust him from a tactical basis? So I just felt a little way about that. So coming into the game, I think what you saw I think how it started, before we get to open warfare, was really City were like, all right, we're going to dominate these boys now. We're going to run and we're going to dominate these boys right there. And you saw them holding a lot of the possession. And Tottenham were, okay, we've got our quicker lineup now without Kane. Let's see what we can do. I think City were controlling the game. And I think that when Sterling scored early, I felt that, okay, boom, I think this is it. And Sterling, for me, it's going to, despite of what happened now, it's going to be very hard for me to look past Sterling being player of the year. He's done so much. He's done so much for me, for people not to say that this guy is not player of the year. So when Sterling scored, I thought, okay, we're going in for a regular City lubrication, a regular beatdown. Tottenham will literally just stand there and take it. Tottenham will stand there and they will take their beatings like men. And there's nothing like that they'll do about it. And I felt this would just go to the inferiority complex that Tottenham have of Man City. I'm gonna talk about the sun rising in the east. I'm gonna talk about sun in two stages. This is the first stage I'll talk about sun, which is pertaining to the game. They're going to talk about sun in a grander scheme. So let's talk about sun pertaining to the game. Every team needs a hero. Every team needs a hero. And no, because I want to just focus on the game. Because when we get to psychology and what it means to be a hero and an individual and a guy that rises up, that's for afterwards. I'm just put the game. When Son equalized, in my mind was that, are you kidding me? Because obviously I celebrate, I was like, whoa. The narrative is true of what I've been preaching. But I was like, but deep down in my recesses, I was like, this dude scored in the first leg. Did this dude just equalize? Did this dude just answer the ball? But I think even before that, you saw Tottenham's approach. And I think what's really, really impressive from Tottenham was that Tottenham is how they reacted to Sterling's goal. Because they could have easily just have folded in, not believing themselves and just mentally winning, but the belief to be like, no, we can get these guys. We've played these guys enough times to know now we can get these guys. And I really believe that the quicker lineup of Eriksen, Ali, Lucas Moura and Son just gave Tottenham more mobility, made them a lot more fluid. And where in the last third, there was no slowdown in the last third. In the last third, you have guys who are quick, who can direct, and the ball is moving a lot quicker, which I think City had issues with, was the movement and the mobility of the front line. So when Son scored, obviously, it was, you would argue maybe an editing mistake, but Son still had to be in the position to score. I was like, whoa, we have a game. Like, Tottenham are really here, because I thought Tottenham were going to fold. I thought they were going to fold. When Son scored the second goal, I was like, I'm gonna have to address this. In my mind, I was like, let's just see how the game falls, but I'm gonna have to address it. When he scored that second goal, I was like, okay, this is different now. This isn't a Premier League game. This isn't a Carabao Cup. This is a Champions League second leg against arguably the best team in England, one of the best teams in England, at their crib. And you come up with you have the audacity to come up with 2 goals, the second of which was a quality, fantastic goal. I was like, then once that happened, City knew that, oh snap, we're in a game. And I think then literally a minute afterwards, Silva scores. Then when that happened, I was like, in a space of 50 minutes, I was confused. I was like, guys, we are witnessing, it doesn't matter what happens now, we are witnessing pretty much a classic game. We're witnessing a classic game. But I think from that point on, City knew that we're in real trouble now because Tottenham already have 2 away goals. And the way that they were playing was like, okay, City, you can come, we're going to come back. And Tottenham's lineup, especially with Sissoko and Wanyama, was perfect. I think for City, as even if they were getting the ball to Sterling and Sterling was playing superbly, where Sterling and Silva played superb, and De Bruyne arguably was probably the best player on the pitch, City still had that fear of like, yeah, we know we can score, but these dudes can score as well. And the way in which Tottenham were able to find space and get the balls over to Moura, Ali, and Son in dangerous places, it was an issue. But I think what really helped that was the Sissoko and Wanyama midfield partnership. And I think without Fernandinho in that midfield, the muscle, the understanding, the control, and just the mental understanding of holding the midfield together that Wanyama and Sissoko had, I think it meant that Tottenham were like, no matter whatever this game goes, we are still in the game. We are still in the game. That we have a route to our last third. We have a route to our last third. So for Pep and City, they were like, man, see, as I said in my stream, I said Tottenham, in their mind, they're like, keep going forward, keep scoring, keep looking for the goal. For City, they had to be more balanced because yes, we have to look for the goal, but we have to also worry about what's happening defensively because we didn't score an away goal, which is why I think Pep was like, damn, we needed that away goal. So without the away goal and now them scoring 2 away goals, City had to play it very carefully. Like, yes, we need those goals. Let's get the ball to Sterling and Silva in a dangerous position and try and find Aguero. But we've got to watch Son. We've got to watch Moura. We've got to watch the speed. We can't give the ball in space. And we cannot give this ball to the Sunrisers in isolated positions. Then this was a major, major, major turning point in the game. And I felt that, which just goes to the amazing achievement that Tottenham did, which was when Sissoko got injured. When Sissoko got injured, I was like, that's it. They're screwed. They're screwed. So when he went off, that left Wanyama by himself. And Pochettino, no Winks, no Eric Dyer. He then opted to bring on Llorente, and he then moved Dele Alli back into the midfield. And I thought that Ali had a pretty bad. I think Ali was pretty okay before the injury, but after the injury, when he was moved to midfield, he had a pretty bad game. And from that point on, the game momentum 100% swung in Man City's favour, and that allowed De Bruyne to pretty much take over the entire game. He pretty much took over the whole entire game. I forgot another. Yeah, so I think when that happened, gosh, this game is mad. So yeah, when that happened, that is when De Bruyne found that space and played that amazing pass all the way across, and then Sterling then scored to then put City. Now this is so confusing. So City went 3-2 up, but it was 3-3 on aggregates. Yeah, so they were 3-2 up on the night. It was 3-3 on aggregate for that Sterling goal. I think once that happened, with City needed one more goal, it just seemed inevitable. So at halftime, I think Pep was just saying to his boys that, guys, we have to control the game now. This is our game now. They don't. That's the Sissoko Wanyama issue has now gone now, which means that we can play a bit more risky because that's how we play. We can play with even much more high risk and really take the game to these boys. I think for Tottenham, they were like, we're still in this. And I think for Pochettino, I think someone, his first sentence was that we have to stand firm, but we need a goal. And I even said this as well, that Tottenham need a goal. That there is no that Tottenham are going through without scoring a goal. The only chance Tottenham have of going through is if they score a G. They had to G up. So the second half comes in, and no. So second half comes in, and City just putting pressure and pressure and pressure and pressure and pressure and pressure and pressure. And what you saw was De Bruyne take over the entire game. And I think this Sissoko coming out, it's messed with Tottenham's structure. I think it's messed with their structure. It's messed with their stability. Llorente wasn't really holding things up. There was no connectivity to the final third. And Tottenham, their entire shape was gone. And for City, they just took over the entire game. I think De Bruyne was able just to take the ball and pass the ball through. Every time Tottenham even go to the halfway line, Laporte or company easily dispossess them, and then they recycle the ball back in. So I think as the game wore on, and Tottenham just had to keep on running, moving around, it was a matter of time. And De Bruyne was playing too well for him not to really get his. So De Bruyne picked up the ball, went on a run, guys trying to hacking down. For Aguero, you needed this moment. Ball played through to Aguero, near post, boom, G'd up. And once that happened, 4-2 on the night, 4-3 on aggregate, I was like, you know what? This is it. And from this point on, I thought, okay, City win like 5-2 or even 6-2. But basically that City just come. I thought that's what I thought. Okay, 5-2. They pretty much ended. And that's just how I thought, because it just seemed inevitable that City, this is how City win. This is what they did. And Tottenham, they fought bravely. And I say, look, they fought bravely. It'd be unfair that if Son goes out like this, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Then, life is funny and ironic. Brief history about Llorente. Llorente, I think he came from Athletic Bilbao, and it was actually pretty decent. Then he moved over to Juventus, where he was okay to begin with, but then slowly and surely, towards the latter part of his Juve career and even Tottenham career, I was like, this might rank as one of the most useless, immobile, and stiff wooden strikers I've ever seen in my life. As in just stiff, can't move, just useless, pretty much. That's what I thought. That's what that's why he's been sleeping in the Brick Academy for years. Like, I can't remember the last time I don't think he's been suspended for like years. So, as a corner comes in through, I literally, as you can see, because again, I'll post my reactions and you'll see, I was like, look, whatever. Then when it sort of hits him and the ball goes in, I was like, no way. I was like, give me a break. Of all the people to score, Llorente? Really? So, and then I was like, no way. And then came VAR, and I think VAR got money in this game. VAR got money in this game. And once the VAR got introduced, I was like, all right, handball. And I think once I saw the first replay of VAR, I was like, they're going to give it to us as handball. But then they showed it again and again and again. Because remember, the first few moments, I was like, okay, hand is there. All right, so standard, good handball, cool. But then when they showed it again and again and again, I said, wait a minute. His hand is there. But if you look at it, the ball hits his side. So once the referee now went to the whole thing, I was like, ref, man, it's a big call. But we are seeing what you're seeing in exactly the same way in super slow instant replay. And I watched this many times and I was like, this ball hits this guy's belly. But again, that's why VAR has brought this whole, and this was only past one of VAR, has brought this whole kind of drama into things. So as we were waiting, I was like, is this guy going to really give this as handball? When everybody is seeing this and just knows that this ain't handball, man. It ain't handball. So when the referee now came, and was like, he gave it as a goal, and he basically pointed on belly. I was like, VAR, man. VAR. But although, that's the funny thing. If it wasn't VAR, I think the goal would have stood. But I just think that the beauty of VAR was you can now really judge and see, because again, it could have been handball. It could have easily been handball, but the fact that the VAR is there to check that, is it handball or is it not handball? But it was clearly shown that his hand was there and it hit his belly. So, from this point on, I was like, because again, if you're Man City, because I think City, when Aguero scored that goal, I think City felt like we've played this team so many times before that we know how the story ends. That it's our game now, we control it, they fold, we probably get a fifth, we end it, boom, we're in the semis. But when Tottenham scored that goal, City were like, are you kidding me? These guys just won't lie down. This is not how we're supposed to ride, man. We're trying to go to full to dribble, baby. So then you now saw, Pochettino brought off Moura and brought on Carlos Sanchez. And then I think a few minutes later, Pep respond by bringing on Sane for David Silva, I believe. So once you saw it was attack for defense. Attack for defense. I think Pochettino said, boom, I play my card next. I think Pochettino was waiting to say, let's just get that goal. Let's try and get that goal. Once he got the goal, boom, I play my card. Let's ride. Defense, attack, let's roll. We'll give them the ball. Boom. Because literally Tottenham had no striker. And even every time that Tottenham had the ball, there was a funny moment. We just showed you just what Tottenham were dealing with, where literally Wanyama had the ball and he just smacked it off to touch, because he's like, you know what? There's nobody to pass the ball. As long as that ball goes far away from us, we're all cool. So City were like, all right, we've got to break these guys down. These guys have yet another defender. These guys are going to sit in deep. We have to somehow break these guys down. And then came the huge moments, man. And this was one of the biggest moments in the game. VAR coming in. So boom. Because I was concerned all City needs that opening. And I felt that City will have that one big chance. So boom. Ball comes in, sort of ricochets, goes over to Aguero. Aguero gets the ball, hits to Sterling. And for Sterling, again, he waited, bided his time, boom, executed. And once Sterling scored, I was like, man, this player of the year, he's that dude. A hat-trick? I mean, how many hat-tricks has he had this season? But to come up with a hat-trick in a game of this magnitude and to score that goal in a game of this magnitude, I was like, this is the definition of a clutch performance. So from that point on, I think this was the 93rd minute, I was like, Tottenham, look, man. And I feel that, if that had happened, can you call it bottling it? But the fact that people will say, okay, Tottenham bottled it, but I don't really think that would constitute of them bottling it. I'll just say, look, these guys gave a serious goal, and it is what it is. They tried to defend, and City just had the opening. So I was like, resigns, okay, boom, City have done it, dagger. And then they said they're checking it. I was like, check. So when they said they were checking it, I was like, okay, they just maybe check for something. Then when they showed the replay, I was like, it came off Bernardo Silva. I was like, again, you'll see my reaction when I said, no, it came off Bernardo Silva. It did. And when they showed the line, I was like, no, Aguero was offside. So I was like, I was doing the calculation, no, it came off Bernardo Silva. Then went to Aguero, who was offside. That's the phase of play, so he's offside. And then once I just saw the referee just raise his hand and was like, no goal, I was like, without see, let's just talk about VAR. When VAR was introduced, I was like, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of VAR. I was like, keep it real, keep it fast, keep it flowing, let it go. Let's just keep it with the human interactions. I don't want my football to turn into NBA where it stops. I want my football to be nice, quick, and flowing. I don't want all of the other stuff to be brought in. But the beauty about this is, VAR had its great victory, and it's funny how Son was actually involved in all this. VAR's first great victory was South Korea, Germany. a human eye doesn't see that. It is impossible for a human eye to have seen that. But technology and VR was able to see that, and that was the defining goal that pretty much knocked out Germany from the World Cup, and that was the moment in which, wow, technology. In this moment, without VAR, the referee didn't see it, linesman didn't call it, it would have been a goal for Sterling. And then the story would now be, when people now look afterwards, they'll be like, oh my gosh, it came off thingy and he was offside. But then what can he do? If the referee didn't see it and the linesman didn't see it, what happened? But with the beauty of VAR is that, we saw something there. Now you can check. And once it was checked, there are no arguments whatsoever. No arguments whatsoever. So that is such a powerful moment there for VAR. So when that happened, Pochettino took off his jacket. Pep took off his sweater and everything. He was undressing. I was undressing as well. We're all bloody undressing. I was like, are these guys really going to knock out Man City? Bottling Tottenham, underachieving Tottenham, the so-called losers, the so-called guys that can't do anything. Are these guys really going to knock these guys out? And then when that because again, this is where we're coming to, and once the referee just blew that whistle, I was like, damn. Like, even now, I'm like, no Hurricane. Sissoko got injured. City had pretty much all of their players, all of their cards on the table. City were at home as well. Like, that is, if you're a Tottenham fan, again, I don't know Tottenham's full history and everything, I cannot think of a greater moment than that. I've already said this now that I believe that, see, as far as footballing quality, the football quality wasn't great. It wasn't great, it wasn't great. I still say that the best football match I've seen in terms of quality, apart from a few Brazil, Argentina, Copa America matches, best football match I've seen quality-wise was Germany, Italy, World Cup 2006. As far as excitement, just raw excitement, drama, and being eventful, this is top 5. This is top 5. Because someone said, oh, no, it's top 10. I cannot name you 9 football matches that were more eventful, exciting, and dramatic than this. Because, again, this is VR. So, any matches that you have from days before didn't have VR. Because VR just brings a whole new element of drama into the mix. So, like from the first 10 minutes, all those goals scored, Sissoko going down injured, Lorenzo, of all people, scoring, VR checking, the goal standing, Sterling scoring in the 93rd minute, Pep jumping off Sterling, the crazy celebration, then it being rolled out by VR. I was like, this is... And the fact that Tottenham are in a Champions League semi-final. Like, it is absolutely flipping insane. But I think... 2 guys I want to talk about here before we finish off this main event. Poch is tier 1. Poch is tier 1. It's so funny. Rewind back a few months, maybe. What was the talk about? Pochettino, Man United said, Tottenham are a small club. United are on the way up, and United should be trying to pretty much coaxing try and get Pochettino the job. And Pochettino needs to pretty improve himself at a bigger stage. Real Madrid was another one where, Pochettino, he probably needs to go to Real Madrid and move to that bigger club to really prove himself. If Real come calling, Pochettino cannot say no. And that was really the call, And people then said, once that new stadium came in, maybe it will give Tottenham a whole new lease of life and so forth. But what Pochettino did in this game, this is the epitome of tier 1 coaching. Because what you saw was an attacking game plan. And what you saw was a very good defensive game plan. Because that substitution that he made with Sissoko coming off, that was a brave substitution. Because maybe Do you bring on another defender? Do you go a bit more conservative? But just think that the game plan they had throughout the 90 minutes, I think it was executed to perfection. Because he studied the spaces in which he could execute Man City, and he executed it really well. And if you think about it, yes, City scored all those goals, some of which, you have to look at Trippier making some mistakes here and there. Defensively, they did a pretty good job to not be totally ripped apart by, because City had a lot of the ball, but how many clear-cut opportunities did they really have throughout the 90 minutes of that game? So that's what you call top-tier coaching. And I think for Pochettino, it's just so funny how life works. Where are Man United now? They got mentally abused by Messi. Where are Real Madrid? Yeah, they went some really early in the whole rebuilding. Where are Tottenham? I think they're about to play a Champions League semi-final against Ajax. And that game, I feel, is 50-50. Maybe Ajax are slight favourites based on how well they play, but my gosh, if you're Tottenham and you're Pochettino and you've come through this, I think you say to yourself, guys, we have an amazing chance to be in a Champions League final. So Pochettino knows that, first of all, I guided this team to the furthest they've ever gone in the Champions League. I have given this club their greatest victory in their history. I don't care what they've done in Division Premier. This is Tottenham's greatest hour. But it's their greatest hour. And this game is historic. The first leg was pretty good. Let's be real. That first leg was pretty good. This second leg game, based on what went down, this is an historic game. This is so hundreds of years they will look back at this game and say, no. Like once we be down and we all go away, they will look back at this game like, yeah, like this was a damn crazy game. So I think maybe for Pochettino, it's like a kid who's like, yeah, man, maybe there's a future here. And he just said, because when I thought Tottenham were about to lose and everything, I just said to myself that, man, if you just give these guys a squad, more players, Levy has to look down and say, my God, man, Levy, spend. Don't have the mentality of, wow, look at how well he did. Take the guys to the semi-final. We don't need to spend now. Levy, give Pochettino 2-3 quality players. These guys can really win a trophy. Or trophies. 2-3 true quality top tier players. These guys can do amazing things. Look at how well he's doing with the players that he has now, where they are bare bones, despite all the injuries. Actually, see, that is the definition of management. Management isn't spending billions and having a wealth of riches. Management is injuries, suspensions. What can I do? Okay, I know this is not your position. You have to now play out of position. Change formation, change tactics, because I am managing situations. I am managing scenarios. That is the key thing of management. That's why it's called management. It's that you are managing particular situations that you're in. How well can you manage if your star striker is injured? How well can you manage if your star central holding midfielder is injured? How well can you manage that? Pretty high. And to end, and this is important for me, Son Heung-min. Why isn't he seen as a star? Should I be real? Should I be real? I'm being fully objective here. Harry Kane is an amazing striker. And he's a goal scorer. And everybody has a role within the team. You have your goal scorer, you have your creator, you have your holding midfielder, you have your leader, your captain, your top defender, your keeper. But every team has their superstar. Just off the top of my head, Argentina, 94 team. Their striker, goal scorer that you rely on goals on was Batistuta. Maradona was a superstar. England, 1990. The goal scorer, the man you look for goals, was Gary Lineker. The superstar was Gascoigne. Nigeria, the guys that we look for goals from, Amokachi Amunike, the superstar was JJ Okocha. The superstar is the guy that, in those key moments, do something. I know what the superstar does is like, the superstar thrives on pressure. That is when there's no pressure, when the superstar, the superstar only comes alive when there's a high pressure. Like, my gosh, I need to deliver now. The lights are brighting. Let me shine. Unquestionably, Son is the superstar of this team. He is the superstar of this team. It makes no sense for Harry Kane to be the star and the face of Tottenham. But the key thing is, why isn't Son seen as a star? And I do believe that 100%, I'll be real. People can say this. I'll be real. This is the football hot. I'll be real. No one else is going to say it. I'm going to say it. There's never been an Asian player that's been this good. I think right now, guys, let's just put this all to rest, because before it was a debate. I grew up with Nakata. That was the days when I was watching Serie A every single Sunday. So I know exactly when Nakata first came onto the scene, and I watched pretty much all of his Serie A games. Okay, Park Ji-sung, I saw all of his games as well. Son is better than both of them. Son is the best Asian player of all time. That's a fact. And the national is that there's never really been an Asian player this good. And I think what's happening with, I don't know whether it's the footballing world or Tottenham fans, I think they're finding it hard to come to terms to the fact that, wait, so an Asian guy should be a star? Because it's just never happened before. Because again, most stars are either black or they're white. Or Latin. Or basically, black, white, or South American. Those are pretty much the kind of racial things. But the fact that there's never really been an Asian star, I really do believe that's an issue, because let's just see how things go, because I expect to see Son being given the praise that he deserves. When Kane went down, who scored the winning goal that helped to contribute to this win? Son. When Sterling scored the opening goal, City scored the goal up, who came up to score 2 goals to respond? Son. I love Kane. Super guy. Harry Kane isn't doing what Son did. He isn't. He may get the goal here. He's not. It's not how many you score. It's when you score. That's what separates really good players from the greats. That's what separates tier 2 from tier 1. So, right now, again, you guys can say what you want. As of right now, Son is a star of Tottenham, and he's the hero. And if Tottenham want to win this Champions League, because look, man, if you're not in it to win it, get the hell out. Tottenham have to aim and believe that, no, we believe that we can win this Champions League. We believe that we can win the Champions League. And I think if Tottenham wants to win this, they need everybody. Everybody plays a role. Eriksen plays a super important role as the playmaker. Everyone plays a role. Alderweireld, Vertonghen, those guys, their defense plays a super role. Lloris as well, who made some cases, play a key role. But every team needs that dude. Whether it's Zidane, whether it's Maradona, whether it's Drogba, whether it's Weah. Everybody needs just that. Who do we look to at a time of need? Son is the dude. Son is Tottenham. You have your superstar. You have your successor to Beast Mode, aka Bale. Because the key thing about Son is, it's a state of mind. See, he gets it. When Sterling scored that goal, I think all the Tottenham players were like, how do you react? In Son's mind is, give me that ball. That ball is going in the net. Because some just think that, give me that ball is going in the net. I am carrying this team. Somehow, somewhere as an individual, I am somehow putting that ball in that net. And that's what heroes do. That's what superstars do. So I'm sorry, guys. We have to now look at Son as the main man, as the main superstar for Tottenham, as the face of Tottenham. Kane, you have your role. You're the consistent goal scorer that helps us get the ball. You're just the consistent goal scorer. But the star, the alpha male, that dude, is the son, Resident is aka Heung-min's son. Heung-min's son is that dude. So, in closing, man, I love football. We live football. Football is an amazing sport, and what an incredible emotional roller coaster. And I think this has lit up the Champions League. This has lit up the Champions League. And I think, again, for City, all those billions, millions, and crazy amounts of money spent, it's one reason that a team who have not spent a quarter that City have spent, that even got depleted and injured and so forth, somehow, somewhere, from character, belief, superb tactical play, and amazing team performance, both physically and mentally. Everything is incredible. And I think for Man City, they just have to go again. Sterling did all he could. Sterling did all he could. So I think if you're Sterling, oh, it will pain. It will pain, because to have that moment ripped away from you, oh, it will pain. But that's just the thing about life, man. But yeah, man, football is sweet, man. Football is real sweet. And now, for the epilogue. Pep Guardiola. I feel City will still win the domestic treble. I still think they will. But you weren't brought here to win domestic titles. You don't spend this amount of money to win the domestic titles now, because your spending power and your squad is better than 90% of the teams in the league that you play in. Same thing. Tuchel is brought in to win domestic titles with PSG. Allegri is compensated for winning the domestic titles for Juventus. The money that is spent and is invested is for winning the Champions League and for winning Champions Leagues. So, can we call Pep a great? Pep is still an amazing manager. Let's just not say Pep is still an amazing manager, but let's just look at everything in total right now. The only Champions Leagues that you've won are with that super talented Barcelona team that's included Lionel Messi, who, without doubt, is the best club football player of all time. So the argument was that, okay, look, man, Pep still had a major influence on that team and how they played and how he tutored them, but you did have a stupidly ridiculous talent in Messi. So the question is, can you win a Champions League without Messi? Because if you can't win it without Messi, all right, you're that dude. Because your good friend, Uncle Moo, FC Porto, he gave them a Champions League. Went to another team, Inter Milan, gave them a Champions League. Oh, and it trebled as well. If you're a true great, you have to win the Champions League with two different teams. You have to. Now, the difference for Alex Ferguson is the amount. See, his greatness is different because of the amount of time that he spent in United and the fact that he literally built Manchester United. He built their success in the modern era, and he had ridiculous success for such a long period of time, and delivering two Champions Leagues as well. But for Pep and Guardiola, Barcelona were already great before he managed them. Yes, he gave them modern success, but they were already great before he managed them. So I think the thing with Pep, and he knows this, because he plays psychological and mental games of like how, because at one point saying that City are not ready, they're not ready to win it. No, Pep. No, this is season number 3. This is season number 3, and you have spent a ridiculous amount of money. A ridiculous amount of cash. You can't spend that amount of cash and get beaten by a depleted Tottenham Hotspur side. You can't do it. But the thing about it is that this goes back to that documentary. It goes back to that documentary of You destroyed football. What does that mean? What does that mean? And the beauty of this is, see, Pep's idea was, his passing system, his passing theory was that, and which is why he said the whole thing of destroying football is, what I'm introducing is going to be the way in which all teams have to play to win. So I'm going to change the way football is going to be played. So that thing of destroying football is my ethos, which is pretty much a refined version of what Johan Cruyff taught him, is going to be a way in which teams will have to play. This is the end of defensive football. This is the end of pragmatism. This is the end of conservatism. You now have to pass the ball in an attacking, offensive, positive manner. This is how it's going to have to be played. But if that is true, because really the definition of this being a success is the Champions League. The Champions League is the elite. That's the pinnacle of football. Domestic titles are cool. The pinnacle of football is the Champions League. That's why it's called the Champions League, because the best teams play there. Which is why everybody watches the flipping Champions League. It is the most watched club competition. It's the big one. So if your theory was true, what happened to the Champions League with Bayern Munich? You didn't even reach a final. If your theory is true, you were given unspeakable amounts of money from Man City. After your first season, you pretty much picked a defense yourself, picked everyone you wanted. Why is it that this philosophy hasn't made you reach a final? So we have to have this discussion of how great is Pep Guardiola really? I want to bring in Uncle Mo. I know people don't want, but I'm going to bring in Uncle Mo. You see, for Pep, see, the difference between Pep and Mourinho is, see, for Pep, he has a philosophy and he'll stick to his philosophy. And his philosophy is about, we play football our way and we attack, and we really just keep riding on through. Football doesn't work like that. And which is why I try and teach to people that every position and every facet of football is important. Your offensive strategy is just as important as your defensive strategy. Because yes, goals win games. But if you're able to get that one goal, that one goal is enough to win the game. If you can shut out your opponent. So, yeah, goals win games. Sometimes the goal wins the game. You get that one goal and you're not going to score against us. Because we have a defensive plan to make sure that you will not score against us. That philosophy still exists. It still exists. So that's why. So the thing with Mourinho was, Mourinho understood what he needed to do to win with the FC Porto. And he understood what he needed to do to win with Inter Milan. Where, yes, I do have my philosophy, but there is a way in which we attack. There's a way in which we defend. Because for Mourinho, if you look at that amazing two-legged tie against Barcelona, against Pep, 2010. Amazing attacking display when they played the home leg, first leg, second leg. Amazing superb defensive display with a man down undeservedly. That's Busquets cheated to get him off. So, and see, I don't even want to go into 2009. I don't even want to go there. I don't even want to go into should Barcelona have even been in the 2009 final. I think everyone knows that's when it should have been Chelsea United to play two back-to-back Champions League finals. Because we all know the stupidness that the referee did. It's a disgrace! It's a disgrace! And he had slippers on as well. So, the question is, where does Pep rank? Where does Pep rank? How do we rank him? Because people will still argue that he has to be called one of the greatest because of how many trophies that he's won, how many accolades he's won, and that is true. See, he is in the conversation. 100%. You have to put him in the conversation because, so basically, he's in the conversation because you cannot win those many trophies and not be in the conversation. It's too many trophies, too many accolades, and I feel like he's probably going to get more this season as well. So once you're in the conversation, now you're in the conversation. Now it's where do we put you in the conversation? There's an asterisk, bro. Because, yes, you had a great influence on that Barcelona side. Luis Enrique is from the road. Luis Enrique is from the road. He won a treble. He won a treble. So, my thing, the asterisk comes with Lionel. Lionel Messi is just that shadow that will continue to hover over Pep because Messi was a very major part of you winning those trophies. And Messi was a very major part of you winning those 2 Champions Leagues. So which is why my Nigerian friend, the journalist, who asked him that question of like, can you win without Messi? Because Pep, he knows. He knows because he'll never say it because in public, like, oh yeah, Messi did this with me and everything. But I promise you, because I can read Pep like a book. I can read Pep like a book. I understand everything that he's saying. I can read him like a book. Deep down, private in Pep is these bloody idiots with their stupid Messi thing. You know what? I am going to win a Champions League without Lionel Messi. So these guys can stop saying that Messi gave me those trophies, that I only won those trophies because of Messi. Because that is what will always be the asterisk, that yes, you won the Champions League twice, but you had a guy who, when all is said and done, will be called the best club football player of all time. And when all is said and done, will be talked about as one of the greatest football players of all time. Easily one of the most talented football players of all time that we've ever seen. So once you have one of the most talented football players of all time in your team, that is an asterisk. Mourinho doesn't have the asterisk. He had Inter Milan. Tell me which of those Inter Milan players that Uncle Mo had that's going to be seen as a great. I'll wait. Tell me one of the players in that Inter Milan side that Uncle Mo had that will be seen as a great. I'll wait. Comment below. Just press pause. Comment below. I know we're going to say Etso. I knew you would go there. Etso played right wing, not striker. Now, if Etso was striker, you could argue he played right wing. So he wasn't playing in his strongest position where that argument could be said, okay, he did have one of those greats. No, he played Etso right wing. Melito was his striker. Snyder, top. Are you going to call Snyder one of the greats? Are you going to put either Snyder or Etso on the same level as Lionel Andres Messi? No, I don't think so. See, for Pep, man, the question is this. So this is the 3rd season now. Is he going to be here for the 4th or the 5th? Will he ever win the Champions League again? And it's a tough one. It's a tough one, and that is the beauty of the Champions League. Because again, this is where me and Drifty we differ. Because Drifty, in his mind, he felt that that the Premier League is tougher, or a league is tougher based on 38 games and the marathon and how hard it is as like now. The league is tough. A league is tough. I agree with him that a league is tough. It is grueling because it's about concentration and it's a marathon and you can never slip. But the Champions League is the elite. It's not only the elite, there's just something about the Champions League where, like, once you hear that anthem play, and once you really start to play, it's like, oh, this isn't the Premier League. This isn't a league game. That's why City will probably just destroy Tottenham on Sunday in the league game. But because it's the Champions League, it's a whole different atmosphere. And I think for Tottenham, they were like, no, this isn't a regular league game. This is the Champions League. So a psychology and a mentality is different, which is why it's a difficult one to win. Hence why, love him, hate him. I don't know how Zizou won 3 in a row. I don't know. So maybe we have to have that discussion on another video. That Real Madrid won 3 Champions League crowns in a row. Because I don't think we've really allowed that to really sink in of Real Madrid won 3 Champions League crowns in a row. Before then, nobody had ever even defended the title. So, but yeah, so as far as what, final thoughts on Pep is, you're good. You're not that good. You didn't destroy football, bro. Don't ever say that again. You had a great influence on football. It wasn't as revolutionary as you think it was. And the very fact that you've been unable to reach a Champions League final without Barcelona leaves me with question marks. It leads me to think that, which is where Pochettino comes in. How good are you at managing? How good are you at managing? Which is why I always bring up this counter arguments. Pep, can you manage a team that doesn't have great passes that you're normally accustomed to? Are you still able to manage them? Are you still able to manage them effectively? Because are you able to maybe tweak and so on and say, okay, look, this players can do this, but how can I get these players just to be effective and win these games for me, to win this game for me? Because you have no excuses. You had no major injuries. De Bruyne was there, Aguero was there, Sterling was there, Laporte was there, Ilkay Gundogan was there. Everybody was there. Tottenham didn't have their goal scorer in Harry Kane. Sissoko got injured, one of their main men. They didn't have Eric Dyer. They didn't have your boy Wicks. They had injuries. And you still couldn't beat them over 2 legs? Especially in this thing, you didn't do enough to beat them? Sorry, bro. So, I think that, for Pep, all I'll say is you're a damn good coach. What you've done with Sterling and how you've improved Sterling is bloody amazing. Even if Sterling, most of the good work must be taken for Sterling, but again, a lot of the good work you also have to applaud Pep for his coaching. Just giving him tidbits, but Sterling that has had to execute. But still, Pep, still done great work there. But I don't want to ever hear Pep Guardiola being named as great. And I'm sorry, insult him all he wants, say all he wants. Uncle Mo won 2 Champions Leagues with 2 different teams. That's his stats. And yet, Pep may have more league titles, maybe better head-to-head and so forth. As far as management is concerned, this is one team, one particular set of players, Champions League. One team, multiple set of players, Champions League. For Pep, you had your Barcelona, you had Messi. Prove to me that you can take another team, another set of players, and win the elite competition. I don't care about the Premier League. I don't care about La Liga. I don't care about Bundesliga. That is irrelevant to me. All that matters is the biggest one, the main one, the number one Premier League, the biggest prize is the Champions League. The clue is in the title. Champions League, not Premier League, not Bundesliga League. The Champions League for winners, for champions. Because if you're a winner and a champion, I need you to deliver me a seal with a team that doesn't have Lionel Messi on it. Until then, you're in the conversation. But you ain't over Uncle Mo and others. Thanks for watching the video. Now think about becoming a Football Hot patron by pledging an amount each month and then gain access to exclusive content only on the Football Hot Patron page. Peace. Head over to the official site at halffootballhot.com or just click over here.